We're doing, of course, my all overall Week 15 NFL predictions. You know how we do it. We go over the big top slated games. We do our picks and predictions and the final score. And then, of course, we go into that. And then I do my little best bets of the week. Also, I also am going to do another topic as well. We're going to talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder and the NBA. Going to go over the standings a little bit in that regard, and I'm going to talk about why they're embarrassing the entire NBA and putting the league on notice, and they might be in consideration to repeat as NBA champions heading soon when we get to that part of next year and that postseason when that comes around. But anyways, let's get back and let's get to the predictions for this game, for these games for the NFL. And we're gonna start over in Cincinnati. We're gonna start with the Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now this may be a shocker, but I'm going with the upset. You know, the Ravens are probably gonna be favorited in this game, although being on the road. But I'm gonna go with the Cincinnati Bengals in this game. For some reason, I just don't see the Ravens are just not clicking offensively. They're not running the ball with Derrick Henry like they should. They're not opening up lanes. They're not protecting Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson not protecting the football, and that's a recipe for a disaster. That's a bad successor, a lack of successor, and the lack thereof in an identity, because you're going into Cincinnati, who just came off of a tough, heartbreaking loss to the Buffalo Bills after leading by 2 scores in that game. So they're looking for vengeance, and they're looking to try to do a season sweep. I think the Cincinnati Bengals will come in ready, motivated, and prepared. I think the Ravens secondary and that defense over the last few weeks has not been playing well because their offense is not giving them any hope for some reason. And I think that's a bad combination going into Cincinnati. I think the Bengals will be ready. I think Joe Burrow will be ready in high power, and they're going to be all over it. They're going to be attacking down the field. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins are going to be feasting. And one thing, the Bengals are not going to make the playoffs, but they're going to ruin a lot of people's chances. And unfortunately, that's just the way I'm seeing it right now. So I'm going to go with the Bengals in this one. I say 27-23. I just think that Burrow will have a really good game. Chase Brown will get involved more in the passing game, and also as long as in the running game as well. So give me the Bengals, and I don't even need the points. I think they're just going to win it outright. All right, we're going to go over to the Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. This is another prime NFL prime time important game, Sunday NFL prime time game, and we're gonna get the best of both teams. Definitely from the LA Chargers with a big time win defensively. They're bend but don't break, opportunistic. Justin Herbert played with a broken left hand, with a cast on the left hand with the glove, and he had to hand it awkwardly towards his right with his right hand instead of handing it towards with his left hand. So it was kind of a bit awkward for him. And also the return of Amari and Hampton with Vidal, and as well as the receiving corps for the Chargers showing up when it matters the most. Their defense forcing 5 turnovers. They're getting 5 turnovers last week against the Eagles, and the previous week destroying Vegas Raiders team that's pretty much banked this trip all the way out there. And as far as the Kansas City Chiefs, they're really slipping. They're really falling by the wayside and slipping down the slope. Give me the LA Chargers in this game. I trust more of what the Chargers are doing than what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing right now. I don't like the way Kansas City has been playing. And to me, I think the Chargers are going to come in hot, ready, on fire. They're going to find some pressure. They're going to find a way to move the ball down the field. The Chiefs are not been getting after the passer. They don't rush the passer that well. And so, despite the injuries to the offensive line for the Chargers and Justin Herbert getting sacked 7 times last week, I don't think that's going to be the case in this game. I just don't trust that Kansas City Chiefs pass rush because they ain't been able to get after it. They did get after C.J. Stroud a bit in the second half to kind of rattle him and frustrate him, but that was a little bit too late because your offense couldn't be able to do anything and get the ball down the field offensively successfully. And with Mahomes throws to Tyquan Thornton and of course Xavier Worthy underthrown and got picked off, and then going forward on 4th down and short, That's not what you want to do if you're Kansas City, and especially going against the LA Chargers team who can take the ball away and score off of turnovers. I think that's gonna be a recipe for disaster, even down in Arrowhead. I'm gonna go with the Chargers in this one. On the road, I think they'll find a way to get it done. And I'll say a game like that would be 23-20. Now let's go to more AFC implications for the not only necessarily the top remaining seed in the entire AFC conference, but also the division title, the Buffalo Bills and the New England Patriots. It's hard to beat a team twice, and it's hard to beat a team twice and half the time, even a third time going into this game. But I'm going to go with the Buffalo Bills. I think they'll find a way to make things happen. I think Josh Allen will find a way to get things rolling. And although the Patriots have been playing well, they're probably one of the better teams in the entire AFC. And I had them in if I had done my my top 5 or my rankings, I had them in the top 2 seeds in the entire NFL. I just think that the Bills will find a way to move the ball, and I think they'll find a way. Josh Allen will find a way to put on that superhero cape, and will make things happen to get it to Keon Coleman, Shakir. Now they got Brandon Cooks. He'll find a way to get him involved. I think James Cook will have a decent game, and that'll be enough to put things together. Lucas Cap, hey, what's going on? So give me the Bills in this one. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very tough, gritty, and grind it out kind of game. Give me the Bills, and I'll take them in the points. Oh, and the final score for that one, I say a 31-27 kind of game. I see that going a little bit loose, getting a little bit looser. All right. Now, getting to the nits and gritty and pieces. Let's get to the 4:25 games. Got the Lions, Detroit Lions, and the LA Rams. The Lions coming off a big-time win at home against the Cowboys, and the Rams bouncing back from a tough loss in Charlotte, going on the road inside of Tucson, Arizona, and taking on and blowing out the Arizona Cardinals 45-17. They was able to just romp and stomp all over the Cardinals' chances of getting top 5 status in the lottery, man, because they are just absolutely putting themselves back in the notice for competing for a championship in a ring. So give me Alex Barrera. Hey, how's it going? But give me the LA Rams in this one. I just think this offense for the Rams is going to be a little bit too much for the Lions to handle, especially a banged-up secondary, losing Terry and Arnold. DJ Reed, not the same. Kirby Joseph, although he came back, I don't know if he's going to be fully 100%. I just think this LA Rams team will find a way at home to score points. And I just don't think Jared Goff and the Lions will be able to keep up. I think the Lions and Jared Goff, they really miss Sam Laporta. I think that's really hurting them in the blocking, in the run blocking, and also pass catcher down the field. That's a vital weapon. I think losing him is a big loss. And I think defensively, losing a couple secondary guys in the secondary has also been a big issue for them. So there you have it. And I don't think they rotate enough on the defensive side and included in the defensive tackle area the way to really push the envelope. And I think that Chris Shula will dial up a game plan to slow that high-powered explosive attack for the Lions offense down. So give me the LA Rams. I think they'll pull it off in this one. And Matt Stafford will pretty much get down the field. I think he'll have over 250 passing yards and a couple touchdowns. And that pretty much will be enough. And also I think Kyron Williams will also get in the end zone. So give me the LA Rams in this one. Now you got the Indianapolis Colts and the Seattle Seahawks. The Colts are losing 3 out of their last 4 games on a on a 3-game losing streak, on a skid. They got Phillip Rivers, picked him up, signing him up off the practice squad, 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. And, he still can prove he can throw the ball down the field, and still has that deep ball stats down the field presence that we can really pretty much can make a threat. But it's not going to be a threat in this game. The Seahawks will pretty much win. I think they'll win convincingly and handily. I got the Seahawks winning this one. I say it's going to be like a 34-23 kind of game. I just don't think the Colts will be able to find a way to slow them down, especially when Sam Darnold is able to take shots down the field, deep shots down the field to Njigba and Cooper Kupp. And then his defense will find a way to get after it. We'll get after the passer and once again, slow down Jonathan Taylor. I think they'll be able to control the line of scrimmage and dictate to the Colts. So give me the Seahawks in this one. I'll take them. And I don't even need the points. I think they're just going to win the game. Like I said, convincingly. 34-23, I see the score going in that direction. All right, you got the Packers and the Denver Broncos. The Green Bay Packers are on a 4-game winning streak, while the Denver Broncos are on a 10-game winning streak. They have not lost, I believe, since I think week 6. Yeah, week 6. I think that was the last time I saw the Broncos that lost. They've been on an absolute high. They have not looked back, and they're going to continue to be a problem when it gets down to the postseason. But I'm going to take the Packers in this one. I love what I saw for them the last couple of weeks. They've been taking shots down the field, against the Lions on the road, and then back at home at Lambeau against the Bears. Jordan Love, ever since Christian Watson and Jaden Reed have come back, he's been able to just take shots down the field, and he's been able to find success. And then they've been able to set up the running game with Josh Jacobs. I like the formula. I like the strategy. They're getting explosive plays down the field, and they're letting Jordan Love just do what he can to take those shots, those necessary shots, and able to find ways to score in the red zone. And then that defense with Parsons, Rashawn Gary, Edgerrin Cooper, Quay Walker. Excuse me. With Quay Walker, Eric Williams, Xavier McKinney, they've been able to just feast. They tackle. They do a lot of great form of tackling. They tackle good in spaces. They get after the quarterback heavily. I think they're one of the top 10 teams in sacks. They take the ball away. Like from the corner, Keyshawn Nixon, interception on Caleb Williams. Yeah, they just get after you in ways and viciousness. They've been doing that since week 1 into the season, and they're going to continue to do so. Give me the Green Bay Packers in this game, and I'll take them on the road. I think the Broncos will probably be favored in this one. Better conference record than they're at home. But I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one. So it's not really necessarily upset, but I'll take them on the road and pull off a high road win and kind of end this Broncos winning skid. I think they'll be able to ones to do it. And I think and last but not least, you got the Miami Dolphins and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Monday night, I'm taking the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. Aaron Rodgers and that Pittsburgh Steelers offense finally came to life. They picked up Adam Thielen. In free agency, and they're getting Jonnu Smith, Pat Freiermuth, and the rest of them going. Washington to get them going, as well as Calvin Austin. I feel like they're getting it going a little bit. Their defense finally showed up, and T.J. Watt came through, forced a couple of turnovers, forced a couple of fumbles. Kyle Duggar is trying to come into his own a little bit. And I wasn't really feeling where the Pittsburgh Steelers were going because statistically their defense is awful. But what they did last week against the Ravens, they was trying to do the best that they can. And I feel like we got the best from them. And they're going to continue to move that forward and put a dent in the Miami Dolphins' chances of making the playoffs. So give me the Steelers in this one. And I'll say this is going to be a low-scoring game. I'll say like a 17-14 kind of game. But give me the Steelers. All right, and that is my predictions for week 15. Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. Now let's talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder. Yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder, as they blew out the Phoenix Suns, and they matched the 73-win Golden State Warriors team with a 24-1 start. Of course, the Thunder have handled distractions that came along with being historically dominant, but that's the kind of challenge that the defending champions face after the Thunder have followed up last season's title run by matching the best 25-game start in NBA history. They punched their ticket to Las Vegas with a 138-89 win over the Phoenix Suns in Wednesday's NBA Cup quarterfinals at Paycom Center. It was the most lopsided loss in Phoenix history and the biggest blowout of the season, but the Thunder have made routes seem routine with the 24-1 start, which only had been done before by the 2015-2016 Golden State Warriors. Oklahoma City has outscored their opponents by an average of 17.4 points per game this season, and putting the Thunder on pace to obliterate the record, as they set last season with a plus 12.9 average point differential. 7 of the Thunder's wins have come up by double-digit margins. And winning is never boring. There's just a time where some players on our team were just getting blown out. The Thunder forward Jalen Williams said it's represented a 73-point loss to the Memphis Grizzlies on December 2nd, 2021. So I think there's a lot of guys had in the back of their mind. Even me in my first year, we were winning a ton and we were solid, but I think I have that in the back of my mind. And you can't get bored with the process. An accomplishment of sorts is for an opponent to push the Thunder enough to reigning MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to play in the fourth quarter. And of course, they said he scores 28 points in 27 minutes. SGA checked out of the game along with the rest of the Oklahoma City Thunder with 3:32 remaining in the third quarter. And Thunder were up by 41 at that point, which led to swell to many as 53 points in the fourth quarter. I'll just say this. The Oklahoma City Thunder are they are, in my opinion, the way they're continuing at this point now, I don't see a whole lot of teams even slowing them and shutting them down and slowing them down. They look like they're going to repeat at this point. Oh, Paper Chasing, hey, how's it going? Thanks for tuning in. And Alex Barrera and Lucas Cap, hey, thanks for tuning in. So yeah, the Thunder are going to repeat. I feel like they are. They don't have a whole lot of flaws at all. I mean, they really don't have a whole lot. They don't have flaws at all. Like their core is just with Holmgren, J-Dub, and SGA are just on point any given Sunday. They have no weaknesses. I mean, they move the ball effortlessly. They don't beat themselves up as far as committing dumb personal fouls. You know, SGA this year has been more of a floor general than he has been in years past. Even when the trade of the draft pick that they was going to up the ante from the LA Clippers, when the Clippers was so dumb enough to let him go to go get Paul George. And to me, the Thunder are a team that's ascending as from our very eyes. And in my opinion, they're going to continue to get better as the years head on and as this season reigns upon. The only team to me that has an outside possible chance, and maybe at like 10 to 15, maybe even 20% chance, is possibly the Denver Nuggets because of the additions of Cam Johnson, Tim Hardaway, and Bruce Brown. But at the end of the day, I just don't see them slowing down this OKC team because they don't have the kind of the star power. It's not going to be enough with Joker and Jamal Murray to slow down Holmgren and SGA and J-Dub. It's going to be too much for them to handle. And these games, not only they've been blowing teams out, they haven't even make it look anything less than what they're of. And that's just a problem for anybody. That's just a problem for anybody to handle. And it's going to make their other opponents feel discombobulated. And with the Thunder, they're only going to continue to get better. And they know how to use their rotations too. They'll play an Isaiah Jones. They'll play a Kendrick Williams, Alex Caruso, Cason Wallace. They know how to play their bench. You know, a lot of teams just don't do that. They don't play their second, third, or fourth tier guys. You know, and a lot of teams don't play the ninth, the 10th, or 11th guy. And that's a big problem moving forward. And it's going to kind of make the NBA understand and notice that you can't just simply push the bigger marketing teams. You got to push the smaller market too, because the whole NBA is, you know, the smaller market is going to help you sell just as much as the bigger market does. And it kind of makes you guys that, you know, are casual NBA fans who just care about these bigger marketing, push-worthy and blockbuster cities to pay attention to more of the smaller market teams like the Indiana Pacers, like the Oklahoma City Thunder, like the Detroit Pistons in this current stage. So, yeah, that's what I think it's going to do. I think it's going to highlight and explore why we have the importance of what HGA does. And he's probably going to be in the nomination for for league MVP, but I don't think he's going to win it now. I think Luka is pretty much had a boatload in that race. I'll talk about the LA Lakers. I'll talk about them in another video for another time. But yeah, the Thunder is definitely a team that's a force to be reckoned with. I don't see a whole lot of competition there that's going to knock them off of that spot. And that's just the way I see it. All right, so tell me what you guys think about this down in the comment section. I'm going to be getting on out of here. I want to thank you all for tuning in, liking and sharing and subscribing. Helps boost the channel algorithm as well. So thank you all for watching. Peace.